What's up, guys, and welcome back to our channel. My name's Sydney and you're on the Connor and Sydney channel. I'm finally doing the update that a lot of you have been asking for on basically what have things been like since gaining 60 pounds during pregnancy. I'll link that video above. A lot of you have wanted to know what has it been like since I've had the baby, and it's been almost a year. Actually, it's been over a year. I have a 15-month-old now. And I made that about like a week before I had her. So it's been like 15-ish months since I made that video, and I'm sorry it's taken so long, but it's always overwhelming now that I have a kid to be able to sit down and make a video, and not just make a video, but edit it. So I'm gonna probably not edit this video at all. So bear with me. I've got my notebook, I've got my notes here. I'm gonna be looking at it a lot so I can cover everything, but I probably won't be editing those things out. So just be patient and understand that this is how I have to do it if I want to be able to make an update. So anyway, let's get into it. I am finally 15 months later. Well, okay, I'll go through the timelines later, but I'm pretty much back to the weight that I was pre-pregnancy. I'm gonna put this out there. I was 114 before pregnancy. If you don't want to hear numbers, I talk numbers a lot in that other video just so you guys can understand, like, kind of a roundabout, just so you have a better understanding, I guess, of how my journey went. And I gained about 60 pounds. I ended up at like 171 or a few pounds around there. Anyway, I'm about 5 pounds up-ish from where I was, but my body is so different. So that's what I want to say, is just because I'm around 5 pounds up from where I started before I got pregnant doesn't mean that my body is how it was before. My body fat percentage is totally different, and my body composition is totally different because I'm not fiercely working out the way that I was pre-pregnancy. And it's not that I don't wish that I could work out the way I did pre-pregnancy, but it's just not realistic for me right now, and it's lower on my priority list than what it was before I had a kid. Because that is top priority now, and being healthy in other ways has taken priority, and I care less about actual macros and calories than I do nourishing my body so that I can breastfeed and things like that. Anyways, so I want to get into first, how did I lose close to 60 pounds? And the main thing is, guys, you don't understand until you have a baby that your body doesn't want all that weight. If you went through extreme pregnancy weight gain, your body doesn't want all that weight, and it doesn't need all that weight. And so I really encourage you, if at all possible, to breastfeed, because that lets your body release so many calories to your child, and it lets you, like, you just feel weight coming off in the coming weeks, because you're giving everything you've got to that baby. And that really helped me lose weight. And also, your body sweats so much after having a baby because it's trying to get off like all that water weight. And I guess I don't know all the science behind it, but I would wake up in the middle of the night for the first like couple, maybe like 2 weeks, maybe even a week and a half, just drenched in sweat and just soaking wet because you're covered in milk and you're covered in sweat. And it's so gross at the time, but it really helps. Like, your body's trying to get rid of that weight fast. So you do lose a significant amount, or I should say, I shouldn't tell you what's going to happen to you. I'm going to speak on what happened to me, but my body was getting rid of it like fast, and it wasn't getting rid of 60 pounds fast. It was getting rid of like a bulk first amount quickly. So I also started, as soon as I was able to be mobile, like maybe 3 weeks in, I really started taking walks around town, lots and lots of walking with the baby in the stroller. And that was my first way to get active without like overdoing it. Maybe it was even longer than 3 weeks. Maybe it was more like 4 weeks or something before I could actually go to the gym, but I just started walking. And again, that just helps you to be active and get little bits of that weight off, because your body doesn't need or want everything that it's holding on to. So I'm gonna tell you kind of how the weight loss went at first. So when I was 1 day postpartum after having the baby, I was already 12 pounds down. My baby only weighed 7 pounds and 7 ounces. So just after 1 day, like, my body had only gotten rid of 12 pounds, which I was hoping it would get rid of more initially, but that's why I just say, like, trust the process and be patient. 2 days postpartum, I was 15 pounds down. So like slowly but surely, like it's just getting rid of this weight. 5.5 weeks postpartum, so before I was able to work out, because usually you don't get cleared for working out until about 6 weeks, but 5.5 weeks postpartum, I was 29 pounds down. So if you think about that, like losing 30 pounds in 5.5 weeks is a lot. But like I said, my body didn't want or need all of that weight. So it was getting rid of it as fast as it could. When the 6-week mark hit, I was cleared to be able to start working out again. And so I did. Like I said, I did lots of weights pre-pregnancy and even actually during my entire pregnancy. So I got right back into that. And I started working out using mostly weights and doing mild cardio here and there. But that just helped me it seemed like it gave me a little bit of boost in the weight loss. And I'm telling you this because I haven't stuck with this the entire time since I've had my kid. But at the beginning, it was very easy to send, like a baby is so content that I was able to give her to the childcare people. And there's like a window, you can watch your baby the whole time. But I was able to just set the car seat down in there. My baby would sleep and they could watch her for like 45 minutes even. But this was a way for me to be able to start at the gym, working out again, doing some weights and giving my body a little bit of a boost. So I, at 6 weeks, started working out again. I got my protein as high as I could and I drank lots of water because it seemed like that was able to, like the more you drink, the more you pee. It was able to make me lose a little bit more weight too when I was serious about those 3 things, working out, and not working out hard and extreme because I didn't want to lose my milk supply. And if you work out too hard and too fast, you can lose your milk supply. So I was kind of like mild with it, but it still, I know, was really good for my body and like walking on the treadmill and things like that. So working out, high protein and lots of water are the 3 tips that I have. And then after that, it seemed like it kind of went slower. It wasn't like, oh, 30 pounds in a month type of thing anymore. Like then it was like slow and steady progress. So my only advice here would be consistent and be patient. And for me, that's like, it happened eventually, but I wasn't really in any rush to have it happen immediately because I did want to keep my milk supply up. So for me personally, I believe that breastfeeding helped me lose more weight than extreme working out right away would have. So it was more important for me to be eating so that I could make breast milk, so that I could breastfeed, so that I could lose weight, rather than working out hard and losing my milk supply right away. Just hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. Let's see what else I have here. Okay, so 3 months in, I'd been like somewhat consistent with all this and I was 39 pounds down. So normally this would seem like a ton of weight, and it is a ton of weight, but I'll remind you that I did gain about 60 pounds. So the weird thing is it's all about perspective, because being 39 pounds down, I felt great about myself. So I wasn't like killing myself to get back in the shape that I was pre-pregnancy. Honestly, when you gain 60 pounds, losing 40 feels like a huge step. So I felt good about myself and I felt like I looked nice. And so that's the whole thing that I want to like kind of get to come across to you guys, is that once you gain, if you have extreme weight gain in pregnancy, you probably won't be like, I need to be my pre-pregnancy body again, but you're going to be so happy now with looking like 20 pounds heavier than you did pre-pregnancy. So like every few days I would lose a pound. And then like by 6 months, so if you think about it, 3 months I was 39 pounds down, 6 months in I was 46 pounds down. So I was still losing weight, but it was so like little by little by little at this point. I tended to sit about 10 pounds up from where I started pre-pregnancy, but it's just weird because once you've gained an extreme amount of weight in pregnancy, being 10 pounds up from where you were before feels like you feel like you feel great, you feel like you look great. So that's how it was for me. By 11 months in, I had dropped below 120 for the first time. So it took almost 11 months to get back into that same range. And none of this was by force. I want to really get that across. None of this was by like extreme dieting or exercise or anything. It all kind of happened naturally just by breastfeeding and making healthy-ish choices, and not overeating like extremely. And then at 1 year, I was only 2 pounds up, but I want you guys to know I looked very different than I did before pregnancy, because weight doesn't determine what your appearance will be like. Your weight doesn't determine what your body fat will be like. It doesn't determine any stretchy skin or anything like that. So it all basically just happened naturally by the choices I was making. And I want you guys to know it doesn't happen overnight, especially if you are trying to let it happen without stopping breastfeeding, without starving yourself, or any extreme methods. If you want it to happen naturally, you do just need to be patient and consistent. Let's see if I have anything else in here. Basically, just don't be hard on yourself. I know I look different now, and most of the time I don't even care because my perspective is different. I gained all that weight and then I lost so much that I didn't even care really to be a few pounds up. And so I know a year sounds like a long time to bounce back, some might say. But guys, the first year of your baby's life goes so fast. So I want to encourage you guys by saying that first year is going to fly by. So, and you're going to want that time back. Like when it's done, you're going to wish that you had it back. Or a lot of people do. I do. I would go back to the newborn stage, even if I had to gain some weight again. Just because it's so sweet. So enjoy it without worrying so much about getting back to your pre-pregnancy weight. Yeah, basically just don't rush it. That first year will go by so fast, and before you know it, you'll be back to your old weight. Maybe not everybody, but a lot of people will be back to a good weight after a year. Your baby will be walking and things like that. Like, it's gonna go so fast that you won't even realize the time has passed and you'll be there. So I would just say don't do any like extreme weight loss or dieting, because your body will get there if you're just patient and consistent with it and you make good choices. And a year really isn't a long time when you like look at the at how fast it goes when you have a baby that you're taking care of every given moment. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got for you. Sorry it's taken so long to get this video up. I just feel like I'm so consumed in having a child and taking care of a child that like doing all this video stuff has been on the back burner. But if there's more questions you have or more things you want to see, definitely reach out, put it in the comments, and I will try and do more of these. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Yeah, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of this, and I'll see you soon. Thanks guys, see you later, bye.